Hello. Welcome to another shared news from home. We are live today to give you guys all the latest updates on all things Bachelor Nation. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring, joined by the wonderful Avery Grooms and Hibba Berry. You guys, long time no see. How is everyone? How was your weekends? Avery, why don't you kick us off?
My weekend was great. Just hung out with some friends. Nothing fancy. Pretty much just chilled. What about you, Hiba?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Just hang out with friends, just keeping it chill, slowly, going back to socializing. So it was nice. It was a nice weekend.
I know it's been crazy. I feel like at least everyone in my circle, hopefully you guys too, tuning in. We've got a lot of great vaccination news. People are starting to ease back out into the world, take advantage of this warm weather. Well, I'm in LA, I guess, depending where you are. I hope you're all having some warm weather as we head into summer. You guys, there is, of course, it's already Monday. Doesn't matter that we've barely started the week. We have so many Bachelor updates. As per usual, I hope you are excited because we're gonna kick things off with an update on two people in Bachelor Nation that I know you both love, Tayshia and Zac. Their relationship is going strong. We absolutely love to talk about them. And Zac actually just addressed some interesting rumors that caused some speculation a little while back. As you all know, since they got engaged, they've had to battle breakup rumors. It comes with the territory and being a Bachelor Nation couple. The smallest move, the smallest social media confusion, and everyone jumps to the conclusion that, there's trouble in paradise. One little rumor that really caused a lot of speculation was Zac's mom unfollowing Tayshia on Instagram. This happened. There were a ton of headlines. It, of course, led to a ton of questions from fans. I mean, you figure your fiance's mother unfollows you. What's the beef, right? There's got to be something to it. But they just kind of moved on, kept doing their thing. And, of course, we know that they are happy and thriving. But we never really got the full story. And Zac totally just cleared it all up. He stopped by Barstool's Chicks in the Office podcast and he told them, quote, "My mom is 70 years old, loves a glass of Chardonnay. I call her and I'm like, Mom, what's going on? Why did you unfollow Tayshia?" And she's like, "I didn't unfollow her, but Tayshia has this podcast, Clickbait." She said, "I just kept getting all these things for clickbait and I didn't know what to do." She probably did it accidentally. And of course, he went on to say people are searching for scoops all day long. You guys, this absolutely cracked me up because it was so relatable. I feel like my mom will follow something and the next thing you know, she's like, "I keep getting these notifications. I don't understand." And she'll unfollow it because that's just what people do when they don't think their every move is being watched on social media. It sounds like she really meant to unfollow the podcast in the first place, not even Tayshia. I mean, what do you guys make of this? There's something so charming about this story. It totally made me laugh. What are your thoughts, Avery?
Yeah, I loved his response. It made me laugh too. And I didn't really think twice about it. I figured it had to be an accident because they have been so unproblematic, so consistent. And I just knew if there was going to be an issue, we would hear it from them, not his mom. So I knew it had to be an accident. And I just love his response. I'm glad to see they're still doing well because I was scared for a second, but I'm not going to feed into the rumors.
I agree. It seemed like something just innocent that happened, nothing, malicious or trying to be mean or make a jab at Tayshia. So I think this was just, again, innocent and mom. It seems like she has no idea that people are, monitoring her socials, every move she does, to see if there's any family beef, what she really thinks of Tayshia. But it just seemed like there was really nothing to it. It wasn't that deep. She just, I guess had butterfingers and accidentally hit unfollow for her. But yeah, again, it just seemed like it was cleared up and they can finally kind of move on after this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the crazy thing is you go on The Bachelor, you go on The Bachelorette, you sign on, you totally know that there's going to be interest in your relationship, right? You totally know there's going to be speculation, but you don't really know how that's going to feel until it happens. And it's like Tayshia and Zac, right? They went on the show, best case scenario. They did find love. They were some of the lucky ones that left the show with a relationship, with a ring on her finger, ready to start their lives. But that doesn't stop the intense scrutiny. It doesn't stop the feeling of pressure, and it certainly doesn't stop the constant questions, which certainly could take a toll on any relationship. I can't even imagine what that feels like. And Zac talked about that. He just point blank said he appreciates that fans support their relationship, but it can sometimes get out of hand. He elaborated saying, "It's always great to be loved, but at the end of the day, we're in a relationship with each other. So all the noise and all that drama doesn't really matter." He added, obviously, it can affect people, especially if it's negative, but said he's gotten really good at, let's see, to use his words, he's gotten really good at the swipe and the delete. So basically, he's figured out a system for himself that works to block out the noise. I absolutely love Zac, always have, and I think he's really, really great for Tayshia in the sense that she's been used to having a social media following for such a long time. You know, she's been huge, a huge name in Bachelor Nation, and he just doesn't seem to care about any of this nonsense. I feel like their personalities balancing each other out while they navigate this, like, I still have a really good gut feeling about them. I'm so happy for them. I think they just seem really solid. I mean, do you still feel that way, Hiba?
Yeah, absolutely. And you totally took the words right out of my mouth. They really do truly balance each other out. And as we can see, even on social media, Tayshia tends to post a lot. You know, she's very active on her stories versus Zac, who doesn't really post as much. So it's just interesting to see how they balance each other out, you know, kind of keep each other level headed in a way as well. So I think I still have no worries about them at all. I think they're doing great, especially compared to, you know, the other train wrecks in Bachelor Nation. So I feel like they're the solid couple right now, you know, kind of like the ones to watch, and not to watch in a bad way, but the ones to watch as like, you know, they're kind of like an example of like what everyone is kind of striving to have and to be in a way. So I think they're just the perfect poster child of Bachelor Nation right now. What do you think, Avery?
I completely agree with the both of you. I think solid's the perfect word to describe them. And I could see how it's hard being a solid couple in Bachelor Nation because since there isn't so much drama on the surface, I feel like people are digging for something just to kind of stir the pot, but there's nothing. And Zac handles it well by just like not caring about it or just laying low off his social media. Tayshia, she already knows how to navigate it. So like you guys said, such a great balance with each other and just a solid couple. I have to say probably one of my favorite couples in Bachelor Nation.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there are certain couples, hint, hint, we may be talking about one of these people in a second, that I feel like I don't love paying attention to their every move. I'm kind of over it. But then there are people like Zac and Tayshia where the smallest little update, the cutest little thing, like I'm just so happy for them. It feels really genuine to me. It feels like they are taking their relationship really seriously behind the scenes. And it honestly is kind of refreshing. This may seem weird as we're talking about like Bachelor Nation. It's refreshing that I don't know. I don't know every single thing that goes on between them. It feels like a real couple that's sharing real moments from their life online when they want to. I trusted them on the show. I trust them in real life. I hope that we keep talking about them like exactly the way we are right now, right? Like I want them to be happy. I want them to be thriving. Any rumors that come up, we brush them off. Because you are right, Hiba. They kind of feel like the poster child right now for a success story in Bachelor Nation. So hopefully only good things to come, of course, with these two. You guys, we want to know your thoughts on Zac and Tayshia. Did you love them when it was her season? Are you rooting for them still to this day? Let us know in the chat. And you guys, if you are joining us live for the very first time, hello, welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our future videos, any of our future lives. We do our best here to keep you updated on everything Bachelor Nation all the time. On that note, I do want to move on to our update on Mr. Peter Weber that we have for you all today. He is not my fave in Bachelor Nation. I feel like I'm constantly giving him a hard time, but we do have an interesting update, truly, on his split with Kelley Flanagan. Over the weekend, he posted this Instagram photo, you guys, and it caused quite the stir. This is, of course, with Victoria Justice, and I honestly think I'm going to butcher this name, so apologies. Renata Sanfilippo. I honestly, I don't know her. Gotta look into her. She's gorgeous. I clearly butchered her last name, so apologies if you know how to say it. Send it our way in the chat. If you guys remember, back when it was Peter's season, there was a lot of hype. We did learn that his family and Victoria Justice's family are really good friends. I believe their moms are really close. So it's not totally out of the blue to see them together, to see them hanging out. Peter captioned that very saucy post, "The Edge of Midnight," which is mysterious, and I don't even know what that means. His mother did comment. She sent her love. She wrote, "What a night." So again, we know there's a family friendship here. We know this isn't totally out of the blue. But I do have to say, this photo kind of caught me off guard. I mean, what did you make of this? I was scrolling through my Instagram feed and I was like, oh my God, Peter, wow, out with celebrities. I mean, what a turn of events. What did you make of this when you saw it, Avery?
I thought the same thing. I was a little caught off guard. I was just like, okay, Peter, serving looks with big time celebrities over here. But I did kind of remember that Victoria was a family friend somehow. But I mean, they all look good. I didn't really know what to think of it, honestly.
Yeah.
I kind of got like, hey Kelley, look at this kind of vibes, like revenge vibes in a way. Kind of like, I have these two hot girls behind me. We might not be dating, we might just be friends. I might be just using them for this nice photo just to kind of maybe get back at you. But that's kind of what I'm getting out of this picture. So it doesn't seem like there's any kind of like romance or anything. It just seems, again, pretty innocent, like they're friends. But maybe, yeah, just like a subtle jab at Kelley, like, hey, look, I still got hot girls around me or something. I have no idea. Y'all know that Peter really isn't my favorite, so I'm not too invested in him. So that's really all I gotta say.
Okay, because here's the thing, Hiba. That's like the best way of putting it. I'm so with you. It gives me like, hey, look at me. Like, he's not declaring a new relationship, clearly, but that was the intent. This was meant to catch
100%.
people off guard. I love that you said it was for Kelley because my mind went there too. And listen, she has made her reaction public. That is really what we have to get into and unpack here, you guys. Photo itself, a little shocking, a little interesting, but Kelley hopped on Bachelor Dishes the Dirt. Yeah, this is like a fan account, you guys, Bachelor updates. They reposted the photo and you can see her comment there. She wrote, "A good family friend of mine." Nice. Now,
Ooh.
Here's the thing. That is clearly throwing something out there, but there are a lot of questions. People don't know what she's talking about. Is she saying that Victoria or the other girl is a family friend of hers? Some people think she's kind of calling out Peter and saying that, the friendship he has with his good family friend is sketchy. There are a lot of different interpretations as to what she meant by this comment. To me, it just feels like she's calling him out, and that's almost enough. Like, her feelings seem clear. I don't know exactly what she's saying, but she clearly wasn't thrilled about this. What do you make of that? How do you interpret it, Hiba?
That's interesting that Kelley responded. I feel like it would have been better if she kind of took the high road, kind of seemed unbothered by it, because that's when it would really have gotten to Peter. But I think she might have been just kind of quoting Peter from what he said about Victoria in that comment, like, oh, she's just a family friend. It's innocent. There's nothing there. But maybe once Kelley saw these photos, she's like, are you sure she's just a family friend? Like, are you sure there's not more? I mean, it's not like they're making out in the picture. They're just kind of like posing as friends. But I think it was maybe just a subtle jab back at Peter, like, okay, like this is kind of weird. This is kind of sketchy. You just said that you're friends or a family friend. I don't know, but it just seems like they're just playing games with one another and trying to see who can make each other jealous or make each other crack at the same time. So it just seems kind of petty a little bit. I mean, it just would have been better if Kelley didn't even respond and just, again, moved on and maybe actually posted like a real man that she might be with in comparison to Peter, who's just kind of like staging these two girls to look cool. I don't know. Avery, what are your thoughts?
It does seem petty, and I wish she would have not responded also because, like we said, it already looks like a look at me photo. Like, it looked like he was trying to get her attention, and it definitely worked because she commented. But I was a little confused at first, like, is she referring to a friend of hers, a friend of his, but I think she means like, okay, Victoria's a good friendly friend or a good family friend of his, which, I mean, coming from an ex-girlfriend, maybe that is something for her to worry about because it clearly did bother her, but who knows what their real relationship is. I kind of doubt it's more than just friends, but I mean, it seems like he got the reaction he wanted out of it.
Exactly. And I
Yeah,
have to
I
say,
mean,
it kind of seems like he won in a way because he got a reaction out of Kelley, which is what I'm sure he wanted from the
Yeah.
get-go. So in a way, he kind of won. So I'm like, oh, Kelley, you shouldn't have said anything.
yeah, that's exactly. I'm like, we're always so in sync, you guys, because I really felt like, okay, it really seems like this was a post to get Kelley's attention, to get her to engage in some way, shape, or form. Even if, I mean, this is something that literally can happen to any exes in a breakup, right? Whether it's the girl posting really great girls' night outs with her friends, looking fabulous, whether it's the guy who, you know, is clearly, as Peter is, going out with other girls, trying to make some sort of a statement, trying to get some sort of a reaction. It seems like Kelley is someone who usually does take the high road. She's usually someone who comes across very mature. So I'm with you. It feels like this was a moment of weakness. I wish she would have said nothing, just continued living her life unbothered. But again, I mean, listen, to play full conspiracy here, one of the narratives that does sort of make sense would be that there is an insecurity with his friendship with Victoria. We're also getting that Renata is a Kelley friend, that she would be a family friend from the Chicago area. That's being put out there. So depending on which way you're looking at it, it feels like it just seems messy, right? I mean, that's the word that's coming to mind. She's had clearly a reaction that isn't thrilled. He went out and posted Instagrams, probably looking to get a reaction. We're in a messy phase of the breakup. And the thing is, for Peter being someone who I would consider kind of immature, they didn't have a very messy relationship. The split has been their messiest moment, and that makes me sad, right? I feel like they really gave it a go. Their journey to find each other, right, to get together was a roller coaster at best. I really was hoping that this ending would be mature, that they would be able to move on, be happy for each other, as they've both said in podcasts. You know, I'm thinking really recently Peter said he wishes nothing but the best for Kelley. I'm like, really? Now this is happening online? I want better. I want them to just be in a good place. Like, I have no interest in seeing this fall apart and get ugly online. I just really don't. I mean, I'm assuming you guys feel the same way, but I just kind of want to see them move on. I mean, do you agree, Avery? I assume you do.
No, yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm just not surprised because everything with Peter seems to be messy or immature, and I guess that part has rubbed off on Kelley. Like we said, I thought she was a little more mature than that, but the picture got the best of her. But I mean, I don't know. For the most part, like you said, the relationship wasn't as messy until the breakup, but I mean, it's Peter. Like, you already know he's not my favorite person either, so I'm not that invested into him. I don't really care too much, but I'm also just not surprised that things are unraveling the way they are with him because it's never just been a smooth sailing course with him. There's always got to be something.
Yeah.
I agree with both of you guys. It just seems like something Peter would do. It's very immature. Again, it's still petty. It's like, why are we playing these games? Like, you're a grown ass man. Like, come on, let's move on. Let's actually have a normal relationship, normal interactions, normal conversation. And why are we doing these like weird social media games? It's like, come on, that's such a thing of the past and something that shouldn't be kind of like glamorized or kind of I guess just being done with Kelley in general. So I just feel like he just needs to do so much more growing up. And I'm just still shocked that he was the lead of the whole Bachelor season.
Yes, Hibba. If you really think about how that is how our journeys began,
Right?
This is what it all goes back to. It can truly be baffling. You guys, we're not gonna hate on Peter too much. I know we give him a hard time. We know there are Peter fans out there. Listen, if you love him, you can let us know in the chat. There are no wrong people to stand in Bachelor Nation. If Peter's your guy, Peter's your guy. Might not get it, but that's okay. Let us know know your thoughts on all of this in the chat. Honestly, what was your reaction to the picture? Do you think Kelley slipped up by making her thoughts public? Let us know your thoughts. We're going to try to get to as many questions, comments, concerns, whatever you got for us in the chat at the end of this stream, you guys. So anything you're thinking throughout, feel free to send it in there. And like I said, we're going to try to get to as many of those as we can at the end. Moving right along, we do have another little update on the upcoming Bachelorette season with, of course, Thurston. ABC has released the very first official promotional photos. We've gotten some little teeny tiny teaser clips, and now we have her promotional photo, her poster, and it says on it, "See what all the buzz is about." She is stating the obvious in that purple skirt again, you guys. That sparked a lot of controversy. People seem to have more thoughts than I would have ever imagined on her outfit, the styling choice there. And listen, people have had thoughts on this promotional poster. It seems like right now there's a lot of hype heading into Katie's season. There's a lot of thoughts people have. There's a lot of questions. And since all we're getting are these posters, these tiny clips, we're channeling it into really over analyzing this imagery. With that being said, I don't love this. It's not my favorite Bachelorette promo we've ever gotten. I don't have any problems with it. I don't like it, or I don't dislike it. Like, I don't actively have any feelings of hatred towards it. It's just not my favorite. I mean, what do you guys think? Are you into this? Are you into the purple color scheme? I just kind of wanted more personally. What do you think, Hiba?
It seems like they really tried to like blur out that zipper so people stop talking about it. But I mean, it is the infamous skirt that we all, talked about and really had opinions over, very strong opinions over. And I gotta say, when it came to that caption where it says, "See what all the buzz is about," I was like, okay, that seems like a very basic caption. Is it actually a pun? As if they're talking about the vibrator, like what the buzz is about. So I was like, maybe they could have done it a little bit more clever. Like, am I just reading too much into it? Am I giving them too much credit? Or is it just basically like, see what all the buzz is about? So, I mean, they could have still done some funny kind of caption, or I don't know, like something witty in a way, like they did with Matt's whole season. But I mean, like, this is all she gets is just another picture with like a basic caption. I mean, you guys are really selling this girl short in the marketing department. I really don't know what's going on, but I mean, she still looks great in the picture, but it's still with that same studio. They just added purple lights to match her skirt now. I mean, I just really hope we got a new, fresh image of her, something different, because they really are just not giving us anything at all. They're really trying to milk this. So it wasn't anything like, oh my God, like look at the new promo shot. It was kind of like, oh, okay, like it's another continuation of that same shoot they did. So we're just like really like scraping the bottom of the barrel here in the promos department. What did you think, Avery?
I'm confused. Like, why are they scraping the bottom of the barrel? We know they have a lot of money. I'm just confused on what's going on with the creative director here, because I'll say I do like the poster better than the promo video, because the dress in the promo video, that was just a lost cause and very questionable and confusing. This outfit is better in terms of that, but it's still kind of like, wait, what? I don't understand. The light, everything from the poster and the video, it's making me question a lot, and I'm confused on why they tried to take this route. I feel like they're trying to make it more casual, but it's just not working. And I know a lot of people did not like it. But just in comparison to what everyone else got, like, do you guys remember Hannah B's promo? She had like a whole theme. It was like Cinderella or something, and just everyone else got so much better. I'm just confused what happened here, since there's so much hype going into this season. You think the promo would be like super extra, but I guess maybe when the season starts, we'll see where they're going with this, or maybe there'll be some redemption outfits. I hope.
Well, here's the thing. Like, as we're talking about it, I think I'm starting to, like, I'm looking at it and I'm taking it all in. I'm trying to understand, like, what it is about it that's bumming me out. And I have to say, Katie is someone who we all fell in love with on Matt's season because she was so real, so relatable. And I'm looking at these promos and it just doesn't feel like Katie. Like I think there's no shame in like if somebody wants to do like a little photoshopping, a little airbrushing to make their Bachelorette debut poster like the most glam gorge version of themselves, whatever. Do your thing, right? But I feel like they edited her a lot. She looks very airbrushed. The lighting, it all feels kind of outdated. And she brings such a fresh energy, such a fresh vibe to the franchise. Like, she is not your cookie cutter, super girly Bachelorette. Like, she has a little bit more of an athletic, tomboy energy. She keeps it really real. Her sense of humor is very specific, and none of that is coming across here. What I'm seeing is like an overly saturated, very blurred, very smoothed, like Katie. And I just don't feel, I guess, like that is authentically her. So I'm hoping, I'm like starting to get nervous. I'm like hoping they really made her and her wonderful energy and personality come across in her season, because it's not happening here. So again, we're probably getting ahead of ourselves, reading too much into a poster. We're just excited. This is all we're getting right now. So it's like we want to unpack it all and really analyze it. But that all comes from the fact that, to use their word, there is a lot of buzz about this season. I mean, I know we're excited. We know a lot of people are excited. And the expectation level, I think we're seeing it play out with these promos, these posters. It's so high, right? For so many different reasons. Some of them very complicated. Some of them simply that people are excited. But it does really feel like there's a lot of hype and the bar is set here. And sometimes if you set the bar too high, it's never going to reach your expectations. So this one's going to be interesting to see. Like, are we just expecting so much from one Bachelorette, from one season of the show, that it can never catch up with, you know, where expectations are? I don't know. I mean, I'm excited, but I'm starting to get nervous. How do you feel, Avery?
Well, obviously our expectations are high, and that's mainly because the show's made it that way. But, you know, like you said, she's such a realist, a sporty girl, and like even her dress in the promo, that just didn't correlate to who she is. It was just kind of like a weird, cheap-looking princess dress, and now we have the awkward skirt and the purple and the saturated. It just doesn't feel like Katie. So, like you said, I hope we'll get to see, you know, Katie when her season starts, and maybe this is just a little hiccup. We do have high hopes, so that's why we expected so much more. But even the seasons I didn't have high hopes for, we got better promos than this.
Yeah, it's tough.
Definitely agree with that. And like you guys were saying, all the previous Bachelorette promos had huge budgets, like beautiful dresses, like we said about Hannah Brown. I mean, she was in a freaking forest, for crying out loud, like running through. It looked so like majestic. And poor Katie got was, you know, just like that white backdrop 2 times. So I just don't know where the money is going as far as their budgeting. I'm just expecting this huge elaborate mansion that they're going to be staying in and all these beautiful location shots, if that's what they're really saving the promo money for, to be honest. But it's just so off-putting because her personality is so different from what we expected these promos to be. And I mean, it was so cheesy. Like we're seeing right here, the Be a Katie shirt, you know, her picking rose petals off a rose, which is so cliche. And it wasn't anything inventive, anything new. Like I loved Claire's promo because it showed her attitude. It showed how she is as a person. You know, she has a good head on her shoulders. She has strong standards. You know, she doesn't take a no for an answer. And like the music matched her perfectly, and the way she was just like parading around and the rose petals. I recommend you guys watch it because it really shows her personality. Whereas Katie here, it just seems so old-fashioned and, just like we've mentioned in the past, just very cheap and just low budget overall. And I was expecting, you know, something amazing, especially because their whole rebranding that they're also doing. So I thought we were going to have like a fresh new vision, a fresh new look and take on the season, but it just really fell flat for me, and I feel like, of course, for a lot of people as well. So I just really hope when night one comes around, you know, we hopefully kick it off very well and with high ratings, I hope, but I doubt that's going to happen, especially with the promos now. But I just hope that they kind of redeem themselves night one when the premiere comes around. I hope Katie, has a great wardrobe. And unfortunately, because the season has wrapped, there's no way to redeem themselves now because we're now reacting since the season is wrapped. So hopefully those looks, all the ones that she wore throughout the taped season now, are beautiful and nice and not, too prom dress-ish so we're just gonna have to hope for the best. And yeah, I just really hope this doesn't take away her storyline because again, like, she's a great person and of course we're rooting for her, but I just really hope they do it well and we have a smooth season overall.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm totally with you. Hopes are high, expectations are high. There are a lot of people out there rooting for Katie. It just feels like the anticipation. We're all on the edge of our seats. We just want it to begin. I do have hopes that we get some really great teasers, better than what we've seen. These are just the very, very beginning, what they're starting to release. We will have, I'm sure, a lot more hype around the show as it gets closer and closer. So only time's going to tell you guys. We want to know in the chat, are you excited? Is Katie who you hope to see as this Bachelorette? Or are you not even really thrilled about her? You're not on our side. Are you like, absolutely not. I wanted it to be Bree still. Let us know. And while you're at it, what do you think of the poster? Is it doing it for you? Or are you feeling like it missed the mark? Let us know in the chat. And we are going to actually move on to something that is just kind of Katie's season adjacent. We've been talking a lot about Blake from Tayshia and Claire's season. There's a lot of just like curiosity, mystery surrounding him right now. He's back on Instagram. And the reason we're kind of unpacking this, you guys, is because it just sort of adds to the suspicious, mysterious timing of it all. If you're playing catch up, he was spotted on set. He was spotted on set of Katie's season. And around the time that he was spotted on set, he took this social media break. So we're gonna play for you. It's a cute little post if we want to get it ready. There is a video. He took a little social break and the boys are back is what he captioned the video. It is him. It is his dogs. It is very cute, but it does sort of continue to lead me to feel a little confused about where he's been. So here's the clip, you guys. Let's go ahead and roll it and see this reunion.
Come on up. Come up, join the party. Come on. The boys are back. Here we are. Yeah,
So, you always love a good dog moment, first of all. I mean, obviously, those are cute dogs. We're not going to go too deep into that, but here's the thing. He seems like this is clearly a reunion post. Like, what does he mean the boys are back? Where were the boys before this? Were they not together, right? I mean, obviously, we're like really over analyzing this, but I'm starting to feel like there's a pretty strong case for maybe he was somehow involved in Katie's season, like Tayshia remembered Blake, got to know Katie, thought they'd hit it off, made it happen. I mean, I just feel like there's too many things. Either he's really trying to send us down a path here on his social media, or it is just not that complicated. And it's what it looks like, which to me is that he took a break because he was in New Mexico and he was filming. I mean, what do you make of this, Avery? Are you buying into the conspiracy? Do you think it may be real?
Oh, yes, especially given that he was spotted on set and now just this return to social media. The timing definitely backs up the theory that he's on Katie's season. There's one theory that he's on her season to talk to Tayshia, which I doubt is what was happening. I feel like he's competing for Katie. And, she just returned to social media. I think it was last week. Now he's suddenly popping back on. It definitely backs up that he was there the whole time. I'm just going to go with that. He's on Katie's season. He's back with his boys now because they wrapped, and that's where he was this whole time.
I agree with everything you just said, Avery. It seems pretty kind of self-explanatory. I mean, it's kind of all slowly fitting together as far as a timeline because, I mean, his caption basically said it all. And of course, he didn't either confirm it or deny it, but it really hinted at him being gone. We saw the pictures of him on set like right now, and clearly he was away. he came back, he's reunited with his dogs, and it just really fit together that he is on Katie's season. And honestly, I don't really know if they're even gonna mesh well together, to be honest, because we saw the way he was on Tayshia's season, very closed off. It took him forever to open up. He always asked for more time. And for you to ask for more time on a Bachelorette season is very rare, and it's basically not going to happen is what I'm trying to say, because the whole process is rushed, period. So for him to go on Katie's season a second time, maybe still have those opening up issues kind of being closed off still, we still don't know if he's completely over that. So we're just going to really have to see if this relationship even blossoms, if there's a spark, if there's chemistry, because on the surface level, I mean, yeah, they're two good looking people, they might get along, but as far as how deep their relationship can go, it's really up to Blake, because Katie seems like she's very walls down, open-minded, and open with everyone that she comes across, and just very straight up, whereas Blake is kind of the opposite. It's very hard for him to open up. We definitely saw that during Tayshia's season. So we'll really have to see how they kind of mesh together, if at all. And I for sure think he's definitely on Katie's season without a shadow of a doubt. There's a lot of evidence pointing to it, so I would believe it.
Yeah, I mean, not that we're gonna say for sure one way or another, or probably get an answer to that one way or another for some time now, but kind of going off of the evidence. Listen, we've all learned how to put on our detective caps and spot something. It's very hard for Bachelor producers to just sneak one by us entirely, because we have a whole fan base working together to try to beat them at their own game at all times, right? So to me, I'm with you. I'm operating under the assumption that he's there. So that kind of takes us back to what you were just saying, Hiba. It's is the chemistry there? What is the reasoning behind him being there? Is it because Tayshia saw something? Is it because producers saw something? The only thing, because I have to say, I don't necessarily see it right away. It's not a no-brainer for me. But as I was trying to think about, okay, well, what maybe about Blake would have brought them in, would have made sense to have him brought in to Katie's season, if that makes sense. And I think it may be his sense of humor. I don't know if you guys remember. We got some kind of post-credit scenes. We didn't really see it, but we did get flashes of it. That Blake has kind of an R-rated, out there, sense of humor. And again, Katie is someone who, she showed up with a vibrator, right? I mean, she definitely is totally sex positive. She has no issues talking about it, putting it all out there, joking about it. If you guys go stalk her TikTok, which I totally recommend, she's hilarious on there. She's constantly kind of leaning into that R-rated sense of humor, into that space. So maybe somebody saw that in Blake, that in Katie, and went, let's give this a whirl. At the very least, it might make good TV. But I don't know. I'm kind of with you, Hiba. I don't know if I believe in the chemistry, that I see it, that it's two people that I would put together. Avery, how do you feel? Where do you weigh in on the chemistry debate?
Well, I mean, I agree with what you said, because he is more of a funny guy, and Katie, as we know, is a funny girl. I definitely see him meshing with Katie, obviously, more than he did with Tayshia, but I've never really thought about it that much, because you also bring up a good point, Tayshia. He took so long to open up, and Katie is very straightforward, but maybe he'll go about it differently this season, given he did take a long time to open up on the last season. He's already gone through this, so maybe he took a different approach and just let it all out at the beginning, and maybe it worked. I don't know, but I could see his sense of humor saving him.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, because, I mean, the one thing that I did think, even though he did struggle, was he did seem, his intentions were in the right place. He seemed like he did really want a relationship. Maybe he just couldn't navigate how to succeed and really make that connection in this really warped setting, in a bubble, with cameras, with reality TV. That could have been the training wheels for him. He now knows the system. He knows how to feel confident within it. And Tayshia, producers, somebody maybe thought that it was a blessing in disguise because Katie's a better match for him. I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves clearly, you guys, but this will be really interesting. If we end up being right, looking at this evidence, and he ends up being there, this is going to be a conversation that we continue to have. So yeah, I mean, I'm just looking forward to, of course, as we always are, getting some concrete answers. But I think I kind of, at the end of the day, am rooting for this because I'm just so curious now. I'm so intrigued by all of these hypotheticals. I want to see how it plays out. Even if it's disaster, even if they have no connection at all, I would be ready to watch that on my TV screens unfold. So obviously, if we get any more info, if you post anything else suspicious, we're going to keep you guys posted. Let us know in the chat if you're hoping to see him pop up, if you guys think him and Katie would have chemistry, because this is going to be an interesting conversation as we inch closer and closer to her season. For now, we're going to move on because we have an exciting Caitlyn Bristowe update as well. Of course, we know we're going to be seeing her not too far from now on our TV screens, but this is an update about her personal life, which is really exciting. Obviously, we love her relationship with Jason. And in a new interview, she just shared that they have definitely talked about marriage. It's not an if, it's a when, and the when could be very, very soon. In a new interview, she said, Jason is very traditional. I'm not. So I think through this pandemic, we've talked so openly that the next step for us is getting engaged. And Jason very much wants to get engaged, get married, and then start a family. She continued, joking that she's 36. She said, good things my eggs are frozen because girlfriend is 36 next month. So they're like really taking these conversations seriously, really going there, really planning their lives, their future, which I honestly would expect nothing less. They've been such a happy couple, such a solid relationship for some time now. She also said that she wants to be completely surprised. That is something that's very important to her. Despite having all these conversations, she still wants it to totally catch her off guard. Like she said, Jason is very traditional, so she revealed in this interview that it is important to him to get permission from her parents. So they have that to navigate. How does he get permission? How does he get the confirmation while keeping it a surprise? The classic engagement planning, I think, dilemma for the guy. How do I do it? How do I execute this? How do I check all the boxes and make it everything she could ever imagine? She did say, quote, we are in such a good place in our relationship that it could be any day. So that is how real this is, you guys. He is currently, for all we know, picking up that phone, calling her dad, and trying to make this happen. I am just so happy for her. I feel like she is someone we've all loved for such a long time. We've been keeping up with her journey, keeping up with their relationship. And to put information like this out there into the public, to me, just shows how secure and confident she is in their relationship. Because you don't tell the world you're going to get engaged if you don't know you're getting engaged. I mean, right? I feel like this is going to happen before we know it. I'm just counting down the minutes. What do you think, Hiba?
Yeah, this seems like another one of those solid relationships in Bachelor Nation, especially with Kaitlyn. And I mean, yeah, it seems like they've always been solid with one another and very humorous as well. Like, I thought her April Fool's joke on him was hilarious. And it just goes to show that they have that balance of, having those deep conversations, yet still, having fun at the same time in their relationship. So I think they're a great match. They have been from the beginning. And so this news was not surprising at all that it would head towards an engagement. And yeah, she's just so funny, and especially her saying that good thing she has, her eggs frozen. And she does not look 36, by the way. She definitely looks like she's in her 30s, like her younger 30s. So 36 is still young, by the way. She still has a whole bunch of time. And yeah, I'm just really happy for her to hear this news. And again, as always, we're always rooting for Bachelor Nation franchise people to always find love, whether it's with another person in the Bachelor franchise or not, just love, period. So I'm happy she's just heading in this direction in general. What do you think, Avery?
I agree. I love them together. I feel like they're just perfect. Every time I see a picture of them, it's like Zac and Tayshia. I'm just like smiling. And the fact that she can publicly say they're in such a good place that the engagement could happen any day means it's going to happen way sooner than later. I think just because he is traditional, he's just kind of holding it off until more restrictions are released and like when times are more normal to have like, a proper wedding. But I'm anticipating it. I feel like maybe within the next year we could see one coming, and I hope they like televise it. I know he wasn't a part of the Bachelor franchise, but she was, so of course we support them. And I'm just really excited for her and them as a couple because they couldn't seem more secure or more solid. So there's nothing iffy about it. Just good stuff to look forward to for them.
Yeah, totally. You guys, let us know in the chat if this is catching you off guard, if you feel like, duh, this was coming. Obviously, they're getting engaged. We're going to dive into those chat comments very soon, so make sure you get to submitting your questions, your comments. We're going to be getting to that shortly. But piggybacking off of what you said, Avery, yeah, like I feel like Zac and Tayshia, Kaitlyn and Jason. There are certain couples that are upholding the reasons we all started loving this franchise to begin with, right? You love to see two people in love. You love to celebrate love. It's so fun to follow people whose journeys are happy, get some relationship inspo. Like we are more and more, I think, getting comfortable with the conversation being about the drama because we're seeing it continue off screen. I mean, heck, this goes without saying, like Matt James's season, we've been talking about the drama, the controversy, the negatives, so much more than being able to just be like, oh my God, look at some happy people having a blast in love. So it's very refreshing. Again, I hope we continue to just have the best news coming out of Kaitlyn and Jason's lives, their relationship. I'm with you, Avery. I'm selfish. I want a full wedding like aired on television. I want a front row seat. I don't know that we're going to get it, but it would be so wonderful if we did. She's pretty upfront and honest with her fans on social media. She's very candid. She keeps it real. I can't tell if she would be the type of bride to go all the way out, right? Like make a huge spectacle of it or keep it very private, very small, very simple. Either way, though, I think it's going to be so beautiful. And I'm just dying. I just feel like, I don't know, it's like a friend of mine is going to be getting engaged soon. I'm on the edge of my seat. It's such good news. All right, let's see if we have anything from the chat ready. Otherwise, you guys, I just want to know your thoughts on Kaitlyn as a bride. I mean, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but is she going to be over the top or is she going to be low key? What do you think, Avery?
I don't know. It's like weird to think about because I see her as kind of like an extra person, but at the same time, I feel like she's also super chill and low key. So in terms of a wedding, I feel like it could go either way. Given like how happy she is and how excited she'll be, I could see her going like all out.
All out. All right. I'm kind of with you. I don't know. What about you, Libba?
I agree too.
It's
She
hard
seems
to
like she has,
say.
yeah, she has a personality where it could go big or it could go very small, low guest list, small guest list, very intimate type of wedding. But I feel like she probably would want to go big because, this is a huge moment in her life. It seems like she really has found her person. And even though it seems like Jason is very traditional, I feel like it still would be a decent sized amount of people at the wedding, which would make it big. And she just seems like a girl that's like into partying and just wants to celebrate. So I could see her going the bigger route.
Yeah, I mean, she loves to have a good time, you guys. I'm sure they're going to have their engagement moment. There's going to be pics. They're going to keep us updated. We can't obviously talk about what we haven't seen yet. I think we're all just so thrilled for whenever this day comes, whether it's in the near future or we keep waiting for it. They keep us on our toes. Either way, just so wonderful, like we said, to see two people in love. We do have some comments ready in the chat, so I am going to start diving into these. We want to get to as many of them as we can, of course. Kicking us off today is Teresa. She said, when does the new season start? It's going to be in June this summer. I believe it's the 7th. I'm going to say that with a pretty high degree of confidence.
Yes.
I know it is June, so it's very soon. We're going to blink and Katie is going to be on our TVs every week. That is how it's going to feel, honestly, in my opinion. I mean, June is going to be here, you guys, like before we know it.
I know, it's crazy that it's already
I know,
May,
and I can't wait.
Yeah, for sure.
Amanda said, Jason was on Becca K's season. He got pretty far. Okay, that's right. Becca's season was the one season I did not watch, so wasn't super familiar with that. But I do remember him being a part of the franchise now. So more reason for them to put the wedding on TV.
True.
I was going to say, it's just better for us, right? I mean, truly, it's
Yeah.
so hard to keep up with all the couples. But he's a great guy. That's kind of what it boils down to, is he's a great guy.
For sure. Katie says Caitlyn Bristowe will be awesome as a bride. I agree. I think she's gonna have, if I were to be invited to her wedding, I'd be super excited. I feel like she knows how to throw a party, a fun party, whether it's big or small. But if she does go the televised route, I mean, you know it has to be big. She's gonna pull out all the stops. You got to get people to tune in. And I'm sure that wedding will be paid for too if it's televised. So she has to go big. There's no other way.
She just has great taste. I mean, that's the thing. Kaitlyn is so fashionable. Like, she's going to totally make this the event of the season. Whether or not we get invited via our TVs, only time will tell, but I certainly hope so. All right, we have another one here. Eduardo says, from the post, Peter's still acting like a child. So yeah, going back to the Peter Instagram story we were chatting about earlier, it does feel like a look at me, I'm newly broken up with, I'm posing with two gorgeous famous women. Like, it is a little childish. I mean, sometimes I feel like he just can't win. Like, no matter what he does, we're going to tease him and give him a bit of a hard time. But I was hoping to see a little, probably more post-split maturity, I guess is the way I would put it. Again, he's finding his way. I think at the end of the day, he's a good guy. I always feel bad giving him a hard time because I do think he's a good person. He just drives me crazy. I think that's the easiest way to say it. I know you guys agree.
I totally agree though, but the thing is, we pick on him because he does childish stuff like this. So
Stuff like that, yeah.
exactly. So there's no way to not criticize him. I mean, he's the one that hit post on that picture. So, and now we're reacting. So I feel like it's up for grabs, whatever we want to say. And I agree, it's definitely childish.
It's tough. We're going to see more of it. That's just how it is. We will.
E. Hardy said, I agree. It makes me not as excited for this season. So yeah, I'm guessing this is about the promo. I know it just makes it more confusing, more questionable. Like we said, there's such high expectations. You think it would just be a killer promo, but we didn't even get half of that. So we'll have to see. Maybe they just put all the budget into the season itself and just the promo wasn't a priority to them. We'll just have to see how the season turns out because this is just making me question so much more.
Totally agree. And Ben also agrees with me. He says, agree with Hiba totally. Can't see the chemistry between Blake and Katie. Yes, again, just to kind of piggyback off of what I said and also what Fiona said, we just really have to see what their chemistry will be like. Yeah, they look like a good, attractive couple surface level, but like, are they going to get deep? Are they going to talk about deep issues, their past history of family life, what their family relationships are like, past relationships? And Blake didn't touch on any of that, I believe, in Tayshia's season, and somehow he kind of made it close to the end. But of course, Tayshia, kicked him to the curb, quite literally. But I don't really know if it's going to happen with Katie, but then devil's advocate, maybe Blake learned from what he didn't do with Tayshia and will implement that in Katie's season. So we really just kind of have to see. It's not really a black and white situation. So hopefully he kind of learned from that previous experience with Tayshia and maybe he'll learn from his mistakes and then maybe implement it again with Katie. So we'll just have to see. Hopefully he learned his lesson, or maybe he'll try again and it just won't succeed, but we'll just have to watch. And this is all hypothetical, just guessing if Blake is even on the show, but it seems like, again, all the evidence points to that he will be on Katie's season.
And this is why I want him there, because even if they have horrible chemistry, I feel like it's going to be so interesting to watch. I'm like manifesting this. I hope we get to see it shake out one way or another. Brittany says, are there any updates on Matt and Rachel? I am so behind. Oh, Brittany, don't be hard on yourself, girl. It is impossible to keep up with Matt and Rachel. We're doing our best. I think last we heard, and you guys jump in and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not going to lie, I haven't refreshed in the last 24 hours, so it's totally plausible I'm missing something. But last we heard, they're spotted in California. They have spent some time together, and Matt himself told People Magazine that he is totally focused on Rachel and seeing where that goes. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. Those weren't his exact words, but against all odds, I don't think I would have predicted this. It seems like they're giving it a real shot. So again, I don't really know what to even make of that, but that's the update I have for you. Do you guys have anything to add?
Honestly, it seems like
Last
everything
time I
he
checked, that
said.
was it also.
Yeah. Oh no,
Yeah.
no, you're good. Honestly, everything that he said after the final rose, it seemed like it just went out the window because clearly he's still pursuing her, trying to make it work and see what could be saved from this relationship. But again, there's no formula to this, so I don't blame him, but we're just kind of like blindsided as the audience because we saw this relationship from the birth to what it is now, this whole mess. So again, there's no formula. I don't blame him, but it's just kind of like, is this gonna realistically last? That's the main question.
Mhm.
So because so much damage has been done, again, not that it can't be fixed, but it will take a lot of work and the chances of that working is very slim. But again, I want them to prove us wrong because of course we want them to work it out, but we'll just have to again see. These are all opinions. They're not facts. So you just really got to take it with a grain of
Yeah.
salt as well.
It's just the pressure. There's chemistry there, but I come back to the same place over and over again. I'm like, how could anyone survive with that much pressure? But anyways, we'll keep you updated, you guys, as we learn more. We have another one. I'm going to let Avery answer this one.
All right, this one says, from Claire to Tayshia to Katie, what the flip? I know, he's very quick with it. Maybe third time's a charm. Who knows? These are three totally different women, totally different personalities. So I don't know what he's into, what he likes. Maybe he just likes everything. But I feel like Katie could keep up with his humor, but I don't know if he can keep up with Katie's. Like you said, Fiona, we're just going to have to wait and see. I just want to see how this unravels. We know he was on the set, so we just got to see what he was doing there.
It's going to be such a bummer, you guys, if they brought him in to, like, I don't know, lead a date or, like, be, like, a guest commentator. Like, I'm going to be like, oh, for the love of God. We have, like, seen the potential here for some good TV. Why is it that that's what the producers give us? Mm-hmm. We're just excited. We're just antsy. I'm dying for Katie's season because I do think there's going to be so much to unpack, so much to talk about. You guys, that is all we have time to get to today from the chat. But have no fear. If you had a question or a comment and we didn't get to it, we talk all things Bachelor Nation on this channel, literally all the time. So I promise we will get to it at some point. Leave us just a regular old comment on this video, you guys, and we will keep an eye out and try to make sure we get to your thoughts in our very next live. That's everything we have for you on this Monday. It will be a busy week in Bachelor Nation, I am sure. So of course, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so we can keep you updated as more stories continue to develop. As always, I am your host, Fiona Zaring. I was joined by the absolutely wonderful Avery Grooms and Hiba Berry. If you want to come say hi, our social handles are on the screen right now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in live with us, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.